Oh, right, guys. Today we are going to be reacting to a liberal girl accused Brian of brainwashing people in the podcast. With the podcast. Let's jump in, guys.
So normal women, if they want a guy to pay for a first date, that's like not normal behavior from
Not
women?
in today's society.
Wow, you're completely wrong. Completely wrong.
I don't think it's okay.
A lot of, it's the majority of conservative women's position that they want men.
Conservative is 1/3 of the population in relationships.
Hold on. It's the majority of conservative women's positions that they want men to pay for first dates. This is just indisputable. And then even liberal women who have perhaps a greater tendency towards being okay with a 50-50 relationship, even liberal progressive women want men, they want chivalry, they want tradition on the men's part, and they want men to pay for first dates. I don't think it's as much as conservative women, but to just say all liberal women or all progressive women don't want to go 50-50 is just completely dubious.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying all of anything. I'm saying you generalize people like it's a majority.
I think I don't know if it's a majority,
statistics?
But like
it's not majority.
I think I don't know if there's polls on this, but I think because hold on. I do think it's fair to say that. I'd have to see the poll, but I think it's a fair idea going into a date. Like a lot of women do have an expectation that men.
Yeah, that's the majority for sure.
Like I haven't seen the peer-reviewed study that like, oh, do women want men to pay for first dates?
Okay.
I look at the sky; it's blue.
There are.
Well,
there are. They do definitely.
Let's bring those up.
They definitely.
I'm just saying. It's just don't generalize all the population if it's
I
not.
never say all
it's
women.
Not 80%. It's not.
I've
it's not
never
that
said
high up
all.
there.
I've never made.
You
this
say
statement.
the
Hold
word.
on.
Oh my God, bro! This lady is Well, she's 37 years old. She's very good looking. Very small in the waist. But notice this, guy. She's 37 years old. She's 37 years old. What does that mean? That means she's not a wife prospect. She's not a prospect to be a wife, guys. Because she's not, right? That's why she's still, single. She does. How many times the guys already told her, you have to be quiet, in order for us to move forward with the conversation? Multiple times, and she's still, trying to go back and forth with no reasoning.
And so many times on the show, like.
How about this?
You said women do this, women do that. That's what I have a problem with.
Hold on. Well, hold on. I typically don't actually make that claim.
You do.
But hold on.
Do you ever say the word they?
Wait. Hold on. So.
Like they did X?
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah, so then all you're doing is you're making a reference to a specific group in the context you're talking about.
What do you mean?
I'll explain. So if you bring up women, right? If you say, well, what I've noticed is that, and so let's say Brian qualifies. What most women will do is they want X. Let's just say they want X. For the rest of the conversation, he can say the word women because we now have the referent to what he's talking about.
Yeah, I mean, that's still the same thing if you put they than if you say women want.
Can I ask you a question?
It's the same thing.
Yeah, but if you qualify it first, so we could do this with anything.
Okay.
Let's say if I say firefighters.
Cool.
Firefighters put out fires. For the rest of this entire conversation, if I say they, I'm referencing what?
Firefighters?
Right. So if he qualifies the I'll explain. So if he qualifies the conversation at first and says, well, most women will do X, the whole rest of the time he's referencing women in the source of that conversation. He's referencing that most women X.
Yeah, but what I disagree is when you say most women, I don't agree with that. Like that it's most women. In my world, I don't think
I've said most women want men to pay for first dates in a previous podcast.
I'm not saying that in general. I never said that.
Grant that I said it.
I never said that you said that, did I?
Isn't that what we're arguing about?
I'm saying in general, you say women do this, women want this, when I don't believe that's the case.
I think somebody in the chat said something about she might be overlapping Fresh and Fit and this show. I think they were right. She don't even know what the hell's going on.
I don't remember the exact. Like I have ADHD.
Okay,
if you bring up the topics, I can tell you.
Women wanting men to pay for first dates.
Yeah, I agree that a lot of them do. I would say it's 50-50,
I don't know what we're arguing about then, but
if I say women,
I don't know what we're arguing about.
If I say women like men who are taller than them,
no, that's true.
Do you think I'm referencing every woman on planet Earth?
No, I agree the majority.
Well, then what is this critique?
I think
what is this critique?
Listen, I think in a lot of the times when you say you're generalizing things that aren't true. I'd say that men, that generalization about women liking tall men, that's true. But a lot of
So
times
which
it's not
generalization
true.
do you take issue with?
I don't remember. If you bring it up, I will. But
Okay.
Oh, so
I
she's
mean,
making the claim, but you, Andrew and Brian, bring up the claim. Like, I don't know what the hell she's talking about at this point, guys.
Well, I was asking you. You were alleging that I brainwash people. I think.
I didn't say you in general. Or
Can you
brainwashing
tilt your
people.
mic down, please? Let's just try to leave it where it is.
I didn't
I do.
move it. Most of my issues on the show is you.
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
you
my
can get-
entire job is to convince people of my
I know.
worldview.
Yeah, and it's
And I
not
really wanna
good
do
for the
that.
world.
No,
It just takes a little while for IQ to get warmed up. Yo, this shot is crazy, man. This people, man, you know what's crazy, man? Sometimes you don't even want to watch the video. You want to go straight to the comment section, man, because these super chats are the best.
job is to convince people of my
I know.
worldview.
Yeah, and it's
And I
not
really want to
good
do
for the
that.
world.
No, I think it is good for the world.
In your point of view, women shouldn't have rights, but in my point of view, yeah.
Who said that?
Okay.
Well, my point of view is that women shouldn't have rights, or that most people shouldn't have the right to vote.
I think, first of all,
No, I want you to tell me
I think
what
that
my
women
actual
should be,
view is.
I think your view is because men are drafted, that women shouldn't have the right to vote. I think women
But
should
why?
be drafted.
What's the justification
Of what?
of why it is that if men are drafted, women shouldn't be able to vote? What's the justification?
Because to vote, they have to sign off to be in the
No.
draft, right?
That's not the justification. You're incorrect about my position. My
Okay,
position
yeah.
is that people shouldn't be able to vote. To send people off to wars they themselves will never be qualified to fight.
That's it. I think that's a great point. I don't know what's the issue with that.
Vacation, you're
That is
incorrect
a
about my-
great point. I always knew there was something wrong about all this conversation regarding, voting and rights. I knew there was something wrong, but I didn't know how to put it together because I really didn't understand it. Andrew Wilson comes to the equation and voila. He explained it very well to that point that, oh, this is what it is. The problem with some people voting, right, is that they have no skin in the game. And because they have no skin in the game, they're just making decisions with no consequences. Right? And that's not acceptable, because then you're not making decisions based of results that can really affect you very close. And this is where the conversation of people don't think that the majority of people should have the right to vote, and that's what they're discussing. But let me know what you guys think. I'll see you next one.